Here, on my camera. Here we go. Hi guys, with Tarcy Talk, and on another topic. So, as mentioned in the previous streams, that we're kind of Sergio and I call it a public service. Maybe not, but the idea is the first few talks of this new school year. We're kind of addressing it to the graduating students. Hopefully, these topics are something that be interesting to you. And even if you're not a graduating student, maybe you're grade 11, grade 10, it's still interesting. You can pick up some things that you can learn or consider for when you do graduate. If you're an alumni, which actually seems to be majority of our watchers, our viewers, I guess you can compare notes. Maybe you can think about how studying abroad will influence. Maybe you can do a sandwich program. Maybe you can consider your masters. Honestly, that's probably an entirely different topic. But yeah, this particular episode of Tarcy Talks is dedicated to learning more about experiences of those Pisay alumni who are studying in universities abroad. So, let's see. Okay. Anyway, so I guess just to recap. So the past few episodes, uh, we just quickly review to make sure that I'm getting it right. Okay. So past few episodes. Let me just open quick. Computer will allow. Okay. So yeah. We started last week on this kind of series of talks, classes with university experiences, local universities. So the graduates of Pisay normally go to UP, Ateneo, LaSalle. Honestly, mostly those three. Though I suppose with the recent graduating batch, there might have been others. The universities considered, considering the strange testing conditions of last school year. And yeah, they were talking about their experience of attending university, particularly the context of attending university online. This class will be, or in this talk episode, we'll be talking about online university. And hoping if we can get the guests for it, and get the guests for next week, we'll be inviting people to talk about what it was like have to apply for universities, uh, to apply to university, given that there is no entrance examinations being held right now. So hopefully we can get participants for that. I guess if you want, you can volunteer. And for those who are watching, if there are some recent graduates who want to share their experience, then feel free to do so. Okay. Now, It's okay. So the other people are called. So we're expecting uh, 4 people to join us. Uh, I'll have them introduce themselves later, but I have 2 people from batch 2019 and 2 people from batch 2020. Um, hopefully, uh, so 2 are already in the call. The other 2 catch up. They're currently caught up with a few things, but hopefully they'll catch up at the later part of the stream and they will share their experience. Okay, that said, I think I definitely. Hello? Hello, are you guys there?
Hello.
And okay, hang on. Let me just fix my screen so that. There we go. Okay. Now,
Oh wait, face reveal na ba? Wait, audio recording now.
wait, National, turn your camera back on.
This already
Okay. So, yun, I guess we can start first with introductions. Sir Q.
Oh, wait. Sir Q. But okay, before first things first,
Okay.
I'd like to say hi to everyone. Everyone in chat. Sir Tarcy might have neglected to say hi to everyone to check up what
I said
everyone.
hi, everyone.
I feel like he's starting to drone. It feels like it's so normal for him that this streams, but he's forgetting that the viewers are our life. That's the one that fuels this channel, and
Are they?
even some of the grabe.
No,
One
I
of them is
mean.
our guest actually. But in all seriousness, we're entering in week 3, so it's something that we hope that everyone is okay. Even for me personally, I felt myself bogging down, despite only having both of us having just 2 synchronous days last week. We had a storm and so on and so forth. A lot's happening here in the Philippines. Something I'm not sure if our guests will be able to relate. So we give much love first to our Filipino viewers before our international viewers. Give local love first before international. But anyways, so we just want to say hi to everyone. We hope that you're going well. You're well, safe, and sound. Also, a birthday shout out to one of our favorite teachers. I probably the one Marky didn't even mention. For those that might know her or might not know her, and will get to know her later on. It's Mom Edlin's birthday today, so it's her big 3-0. Oh shoot, was I supposed to say that? Oh well, it's out of the bag. Happy birthday, Edlen, and best wishes to you. Your
Can I play
sound
the
clip,
video
Mike.
now?
You need that sound clip. In relation to this, yes, Sir Tarcy did mention back then that we are kind of trying to divert this in a way that we can hope that we're being more inclusive. No, not inclusive. Public service, like what Sir Tarcy said. Try to give back to the community. No matter how small our community is, it's still something that we hope to give. Please help us, help our page. Just kidding.
I mean.
But yeah, we found out that a lot of Sir Tarcy is connected a lot with our alumni. Therefore, we figured out maybe we can cash in on that. A lot of them are famous. Therefore, they can add more views to our channel. It's also no, just kidding. They were already famous, and we didn't mean to use them. And we knew some of them are actually we had established relationships with them. Therefore, we hope that they could somehow we can provide a avenue for them to give back to the Pisay community. So that's the context, Mark, on why we have this episode.
Lalo kaya mag-host, parang the host is always starting from my end. You can host, parang doesn't have to start from my side all the time.
Don't worry, everyone. We're going to have a rap battle sometime soon. We're just uh, building up the heat to it. Anyways, introductions.
Right.
So that's Sir Tarcy earlier. I hope you're still awake from his introduction. I'm Sir Q.
Okay.
For everyone else that hasn't known me or has known me, I'm Sir Q. But who will we ask to introduce them first? Mark, would you give the honors of choosing the first one?
Nauna si Mati magturo. So, okay, Renise, go.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Renise. I'm from the class of 2020. So yes, I'm on my second year of college now. I'm studying here in Singapore. I study at Yale and US College, and I'm planning to major in life sciences and maybe minor in data science. So yeah. What else am I supposed to say, Sing?
No, actually, that's
Actually,
good.
we didn't even get there.
Okay.
But
Okay, and Matty.
Matty.
Hello everyone, I am Matthew Balagan. Of batch 2019, I am calling in from Okayama, Japan. Where is Okayama? 3 hours west of Osaka. And I'm currently incoming third year and studying what I will call as environmental studies. Thank you. But it's a liberal arts. Let's leave it at that.
Pumay Pisay? How did that happen? But that's a question we will ask later on. Ooh, interesting. We'll save that for the last 10 minutes of the show so that everyone's that's our final okay. So quick question though. So that we know that we're all on the same page, even though we're not. What's the timeline there right now?
1 hour ahead.
So Carl just jumped in.
Wait.
There. Oh my god.
Yes.
Hello.
I'll just
hi,
fix something.
Carl.
Hello. Wait.
Bernice, what time is it over there at your side?
It's the same as Philippine time, so 8:17 p.m.
And for Matty, what time is it over there?
9:17 p.m.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah.
Hi, Carl.
Ayun, saktong-sakto ka, Carl. Kakatapos lang ng introduction ng dalawa. So, it's time for your introduction.
Oh no. I'll fix my camera.
Sige lang.
Okay, there. Okay. So what do I say? I just introduce myself.
Yeah, so you can introduce yourself. Name, batch, and where you're studying, and what you're taking up.
Okay. So yes, hello. I'm Carl. I'm from batch 2020, and I just got home. I I'm studying Nagoya University. Also studying Japan, like math, and I take up automotive engineering with specialization in electrical electronics and information engineering. Nice to meet you.
I like that. I like that. He can already connect to our audience, so we have to wait for our two girls to try to warm up also to our audience. Especially they're the ones being sought out in the comment section. There are already shout outs and nagpapabili. So girls, the comment section is there. All right, Mark, how would you like to start this off?
Ako na.
It's your show.
Honestly, parang I'm already considering passing on the admin, the ownership of the channel to you.
We sit.
Okay, sige. I guess we can start off with so everyone knows that you just introduced yourself as currently studying in universities abroad. So I guess if you could tell us a little bit about what made you decide to study abroad instead of in a local university. What were those factors that led you to pursue education in that? Maybe not. Maybe you don't have to go into details, but in general about why you chose to study abroad. Since nahuli ka, Carl, mauna ka.
Um,
Okay, sure. Japan. All right. So, I got to join SIP dati sa grade 10 ako. I did it
Mhm.
sa Triple E. Yeah, originally I didn't want to really study abroad, but like yeah, I did internships at Triple E. And like I saw the equipment and all medyo it's not of good quality and all. Uh, kulang sa equipment and all. So like we had to work on some microchips, but because of the lack of tools and materials, so we just kept troubleshooting. We weren't able to complete something tangible. So like I thought of that in the future, like oh, uh, the things, the skills and knowledge that I gained from Pisan, I think would be like better honed in abroad, and like in the future, uh, I can be more prepared to like give back to the country. Yes. That's my primary motivation, and yeah, I chose Japan because like I got to join uh, the Sakura exchange program, and like I just saw, oh my god, I want to go here. Yeah, I just saw the opportunity and path ahead of me too. So that's why like I decided to pursue it too. And, yeah.
that's great, actually. Exposure programs that we had, the exchange program here in Pisay with a lot of Japanese schools in school. I remember a lot of our students were very, very excited, not only to receive them, uh, based from the exchange program, but also I think a lot of students signed up so that they be the ones sent towards Japan, and it's a good learning experience, I guess. So, in that scenario, where is this common among the three guests that we
Yes,
have right now?
so Matty and Renise joined uh, the Sakura Science program, Tokyo in 2018. While Carl, I think you were in the Hiroshima Sakura Science.
No, I
Ah,
went to like Tokyo too, but in
ah
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Okay, so it was all about something that you saw and experienced from over there, saw a shortage, and wanted to bring back to the Philippines, which is, I guess, noble, really noble. I wonder how the girls will one up that. So, is there any
It's not
experience?
a
What
contest.
was the? It's not a contest. That's true. But how? By the way, this is our platform to provide you clout, as much clout as you want, if you want, later in the future. Just kidding. Um, so what was the thing that helped you, that inspired you to try out studying abroad? Let's try mix it up a bit. Let's go to Singapore. Uh, from our correspondent in Singapore, we go to Renise.
Thank you, sir. So, okay, for me, in all honesty, I wasn't really super set on studying abroad. Like, I actually really wanted to go intermed. And then I was really just choosing between intermed and going here to Singapore. So, ayun, honestly, it was like the whole decision making process was very difficult because it was also a time of COVID na. So, ang nangyari kasi talaga is medyo late yung intermed. Like, I already said yes to Yale and US and everything. But then, intermed wasn't releasing their results yet. So, parang ako, oh my gosh, ano na gagawin natin? Ano, iintayin ko ba to or what? But I guess like towards the end of it, I really ended up choosing talaga like willingly to go and study abroad. Because one of my worries is if I studied back home, the path already is very specialized. And for me, I was like, okay, I think I want to pursue medicine, but what if it's not for me pala? Or like, what if I end up wanting to explore more? That's why like I ended up going here to Yale and US. And it's a liberal arts college, so actually right now I haven't declared my major. So I'm in second year. But wala pa akong course basically, so I can just like take whatever classes I want. So I figured na, hey, this is gonna be a very good opportunity for me to like try out different things and just explore para at least when I decide what major I want or what career I want, sure na ako na, okay, this is the one for me talaga. And I think like linking it back to what Carl mentioned, it's also you need to be able to figure out what you really want eh. Kasi there are so many opportunities out there. So it's like quite overwhelming to know like, oh my gosh, do I want this? Do I want that? And I think college is a really good time for you to explore. And personally, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm really trying to figure out life sciences ba talaga? May data science ba akong gustong gawin? Or baka anthropology or whatever na may mix dyan. So yeah, it's really like trying to figure out what you want para, when you actually pursue whatever specialization you want to do in the future. Sure ka na you want that, and then you won't regret it. Like you'll be able to really like give your all when you're pursuing that career. And I think that's gonna be the one na it will really result in fruitful, like effects after that. So yeah, I think that's what made me want to go abroad, just like the opportunity for me to like be able to explore talaga and make sure na what I want to do is like what I really want to do. So yeah, it's a good time to just like try out different things and figure out what you
Racking
really
my
want.
brain, trying to think of what Disney princess was there out there trying to explore whatever. But it keeps on coming back to Dora the Explorer. She keeps saying explore, explore. So, but it's true. College is always about exploring not only what other courses are out there, but also to explore yourself. What are the things that really interest you? It's good that the Carl was able to figure out what he wanted in life, what he wanted to study. For Rinese, she's still exploring, and with the avenue such as studying in Singapore, it broadens the perspective to see what's out there, what could be possible. Now let's hear it from our ate, the most experienced, who have studied the most abroad. Do you think she still remembers what her reason was in studying abroad? How many years have you been studying? 2 years?
2 years? Good question. Kasi nung narinig ko si Carl and Renise, I was like, okay, so ano madadagdag ka dyan? um,
No, answer
no,
from your heart. What was it that really
wait, I
inspired you?
prepared props. Okay. So, the whole college decision process basically forces you to make decisions for your life. Kahit di ka talaga sure kung anong gusto mong gawin sa life or even 1 year from now. Pero forced ka to make decisions because you have to go through the whole application process. So for me, I really just saw the opportunity to study abroad. And I was part nga nung mention kanina na Sakura exchange program. So we were given like the chance to spend 1 week in Tokyo. And that just made me realize how different of a world it is here. And I've always had an interest in like experiencing a different culture. And nung college application season, I learned about the opportunities of studying abroad. And I was like, okay, so why not just try out for it, you know? Kung makakuha ng, kasi kailangan ng scholarship, kung makakuha ng scholarship, why not go? So yung ibang pang-justify like career, anong gustong gawin, kind of came after that. So for me, it was also more of like exploration. And a main motivation, I have to say, is like Studio Ghibli. I'm a big fan of Totoro. And here's my prop, my show and tell. I can get all of these things cheaper here. And I have direct access to merchandise and tourism spots. So I'm not gonna lie, that was such a big motivation.
Mm.
But other than that, sobrang na-excite ako nung na-discover ko yung program ko here, which is also kind of like Renee's, it's liberal arts program. And basically what liberal arts means is you have the freedom to explore how you want to learn about the world. So sa program ko parang maraming clusters, like meron sciences, meron cultural sciences, and it focuses a lot on trying to bring together different disciplines. And you're not at all forced to like pick a major, though you're supposed to pick a thesis topic. So you're kind of given free rein to say, okay, kung meron kang interest na problem, say an engineering problem or interested ka sa climate crisis, you can kind of explore however approach you want to go with the classes that they have here. So yung ganon tipong freedom, I found myself na, oh, that's something I'm interested in. I don't think it's something I can really use kung magstay ako sa Pinas. Yeah.
Damn. You see all of these avenues and opportunities that you can get abroad. Makes you wonder whether or not is it offered here, but not necessarily. It's something that we had discovered from last week that they also have these kinds of things, but also in abroad, it's something new. And since you mentioned the word culture, I guess we'll bring up our quirky question for the day. The quirky question is before we jump into the serious ones, because we have a list of serious questions here. The quirky question is, what is the biggest culture shock that you had received upon moving there? As a Filipino student, what was the biggest culture shock for you? I bet for me, I bet for the Japanese, for those in Japan uh uh would be the toilets, while for the ones in Singapore it would be the, oh my gosh, I might be cancelled, but it might be the English. But let's ask them. Okay. Since Renice was the one that gave the biggest reaction to for us, share with us what is the biggest culture shock that you've experienced so far.
Okay, so honestly, hindi ko naman i-deny yung English part. Like, not gonna lie, I live with 5 other Singaporeans in like my suite. Parang dorm, ganon. And at first talaga, medyo mahirap intindihin. Like, cause especially when they talk fast, cause their accent is quite different. And then, minsan they use terms pa na Singlish. So parang ako, ano raw? Pwede, can you repeat what you said? But like, more
But it's in
slowly.
English, right?
It's English, however, like, the accent is just, sometimes kasi it's thick, tapos meron pang other words. So, parang kunwari, magta-Taglish tayo. It's in
Sample,
English, but
sample.
then like, sometimes yung words,
Mark,
kasi,
no. she might be in trouble.
wala, mga ano,
Well,
years.
listen carefully. I want you to listen carefully. Renice actually picked up a part of the Singlish English. Eh. If
Yeah,
she doesn't
I hear
talk
it a
like that
little.
before.
I hear it a little.
Diba? So you actually pointed to yourself because of that. But so would you say it's really the English that is a big culture shock?
Pero I think hindi naman yun yung biggest culture shock. I think it's not the English. Sometimes it's hard. A lot of them still use Chinese. So, minsan, kunwari, mag-order ako sa parang mga, like, they have here parang hawker centers. So, it's like, parang mga food stalls sa mga, like, communities nila, ganun. Tapos, hindi siya mall. Parang talaga siyang food court, ganun. And then, sometimes you're gonna order food and then, like, the aunties or, like, the uncles, they're gonna speak to you, like, in Chinese. Parang, usually, I would just ask my friend na i-translate or sabihin kung ano yun. So, meron ganun pa rin
You look
sila.
Chinese kasi. That's why. Maybe that's why.
No, and then yeah, sometimes it's just like hard to communicate pag ganun. Pero yeah, I think for me, I think I didn't expect that Singapore would have that kind of language barrier since the impression is talaga like everyone is speaking in English. Pero sometimes kasi it also depends where you go or like what kinds of places you go to. Tapos yeah, like you can't avoid naman na you're gonna interact with people na like they're gonna be much comfortable speaking in Chinese. So, magpapa-translate ka na lang ganun. Or maybe I'll take a Chinese class soon. Let's see how.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
it's very surprising considering that I would have thought that Singapore would mainly speak English, but considering that you really look the part, I guess they kind of want you to fit in. But considering that we raised the issue of language, I'm pretty sure our Japanese students would use that as a culture shock. But Carl says no. He says no. Therefore, let's see. Or is Carl talking to us? Is he talking to someone else? Would you know? Hello?
I think he's talking to someone.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
so let's.
I was just,
Carl?
yes, yes, yes. I was just reacting to what you were
Okay.
saying.
You're nakadelay kasi yung stream.
Oh, right. We are actually ahead of them by how many hours again, Mark? What was
Around
it?
10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Carl, if you would say, what was the biggest culture shock for you upon arriving and still studying here tuloy, nakiki-Japan tuloy ako, studying there in Japan?
I would say, it's really the language barrier because like, because like you just can't do anything you don't know a bit of your Japanese, like I swear you can ask Ate Mati. Parang hirap. It's so hard to go around, so hard to get the most out of everywhere you go. Because like you need to ask someone to something, but you don't know the right Japanese to do it. You're looking for something in the supermarket, but you don't know the right Japanese to like find it. Just navigating around in the city, it's so hard. Like, I swear, you're gonna order something convenient, convenience store, a restaurant, all those. It's just so hard because no one knows how to speak English. I mean, my city, Nagoya, it's not like Tokyo or Osaka or Kyoto, where it's like the most tourist friendly cities. So like, it's really hard to go around and move around because of your language barrier. So that's like the biggest culture shock for me. And like I don't know, because of that too, like sometimes Japanese have really, I don't know, really have thick manners too. Like they don't want it to be noisy. They want it to be so organized. They want it to fall in line. They want to follow rules. So like if you don't follow these rules or like uh or sometimes like yeah, I picked up a new hobby. I try taking pictures. I bought a camera. So like I accidentally just point my camera somewhere in front. Then a guy just got angry at me because he thought I was taking a picture of him. He was a bit old. What else? There's so much. Like they're really adherent to rules. So like uh so like you know that kinda was a culture shock to me too. And sometimes I just I just withdrew from the ATM and then an obasan old man just shouted. I just scolded me for what reason I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong. So yeah,
Oh no.
and if we do those stuff, they really see us as gaijin or foreigners. So sometimes if you're noisy,
Oh yeah.
sometimes if you're noisy in public, they just look at you. Like when me and my friends are noisy in a cafe, someone would approach us and like scold us in Japanese. So you know,
But
uh,
but Pisay, wasn't Pisay enough to train you hard enough with its DO? Sila Ma'am Hattie, sila Ma'am. Okay, okay, I'm not gonna drop any more names anyways. But okay, aside from the discipline, I was gonna ask what was the worst rule you broke there in Japan, but you might get in trouble. Let's try a little lighter question. What was the hardest thing for you to order, to ask for, or to look for in Japanese? You said it was so hard to look for something, supermarket or a place. What was the hardest for you that if you can remember?
you know what I hate the most in Japan is it's just doing my groceries because everything's in kanji, everything's in Japanese, everything's in katakana or something. So like I'm looking for like how to say the ingredients we have there in the Philippines. I'm trying to look for substitutes or equivalents here. Then I try to look for the English and then Google Translate it. Sometimes,
Oh,
sometimes the koko ni arimasu ka? Sometimes they just don't know what this is. So like,
well,
oh
yeah.
my god. So it's
Man, I thought with
I
the
can't
technology
remember
we
a single
have,
thing.
oh, that's interesting. I mean, I would have thought that because you'd see ads with the almost same time interpretation, then you just pointed to them with a nice sounding person coming out from that device to help interpret you. Then the person you're talking to suddenly smiles and understands you. I guess there is still a problem. And one of your biggest supporters is actually here in stream that's kept on cheering you on. It seems that she can really relate to you.
Yeah.
Matty, how about you? Oh, Matty.
Matty?
I think you're on mute. Hello?
In the air. Disconnected ata yung microphone.
Hello?
Ayun, there.
Yay, you're
Okay,
here.
sorry. Okay, you mentioned technology. So actually, Google Translate is super helpful. I use it all the time. Technically, you can ask them to like say what they said again, like into the phone. But in Japan, kasi there's a whole it's a cultural thing. Like you don't want to bother people. Like it's not something that you're aware of when you first come, but because parang like you just realize it, that everyone goes their own way, their own lifestyles without having to ask too much help from other people. I don't know. Parang yun yung sense ko. So, kahit pwede ko, like, I actually can ask people for extra help just because I have language barrier. I'm not confident enough to do so. And like, I sobrang relate kay Carl. Like, just kanina, I was in the grocery and I had to like Google, like, what is this certain tofu in Japanese? Like, I needed the picture of the product and to like really match the kanji, the Japanese characters. And I don't know, it became kind of second nature na though. Na parang, as in, even though you think you know Japanese, it's so different from when they actually speak it. Because they break their own rules, and conversational
Oh,
Japanese has its own rules, depending on who you talk to. So super, it's still a language barrier, okay, and I'm super poor at Japanese. I've been here for 2 years. Sometimes it's unfortunate that I still can't really say that I know Japanese. Like other people do, but it's just not me. But you kind of learn to like bear it. It's just the not knowing what anyone is saying. You become comfortable with it weirdly, but yeah, you get around.
oh. Well, okay. So if I were to ask my X years of being a weebu, would I be prepared to be in Japan?
Probably not. You'll
No, can
still
I just,
need Google Translate a lot.
can I point to the picture and say tofu desu ka? Tofu desu ka?
I
Wait,
mean,
is
you
that right?
can, you can, but it
Oh,
won't get you far.
no.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know. Nihongo wa karimasen. That's all
Yes,
I know.
you will find yourself saying that a lot, as in like, especially when you go through the errands, the stuff like signing up for an apartment,
Oh my
doing
god.
mail.
Not again.
Yeah, you
But Sir
Harimasen,
Tarcy,
harimasen.
Sir Tarsy's experience of watching anime ever since he was a kid. Where would it all go? He plans on going to Japan soon, so that's one
You
thing
do?
also. Yeah, you keep on wanting to go through the exchange trip, I guess. Oh, he really treasures. Who was any one of the students that you were? Was Renice with you going to
Denise and
Japan,
Matty were
or
a
was it?
part of that group.
Yeah, you can see that was the only time he would actually smile. It was that moment in Japan that he smiled. Wala na, ever since he came back, wala na. It's just fake smiles. Okay, more on a serious question that I think a lot of our students are more interested in is that was Pisay able to prepare you for studying abroad? Like, is there a lot of adjustments that you needed? Because I guess a lot of things that students in right now, our students right now, feel like they might not be that prepared, or they might feel na they're not worthy, or they might be not worthy. What's another word for not worthy? I've been running out of words since earlier this morning. Um, might be unprepared, I guess, to be able to adapt to international standards. Uh, how would you react to this? Uh, if you would share your experience, how would you say Pisay was able to prepare you, or do you feel like it's not that much, or you think you're sobrang buti lang I had that Pisay advantage? Hashtag Pisay advantage. Let's see. I want to shuffle it around and go back to Carl. Carl, what would? Yeah, that's shuffled. Don't worry. When we add more guests here, don't worry, you guys will be later on. It's best that we shower you with our questions. Carl, what would you say that? How would you say that? Would you say that Pisay was able to prepare you?
Okay, just for
Oh
perspective.
no, that laugh, that laugh
I
terrifies us
just for
teachers.
just for perspective, I mean, in my course, among the four of us, I am like the most how to say, I'm the most the most not gifted. Like I'm the slowest among all of them.
No, you're
So
top four. You're top four and we did the score, right? Really? I meant, would it, okay, let's say language barrier aside, would you still say lesson wise it's still hard?
okay, it's okay. Let me talk about it a bit. I mean, in my, I don't know if I don't know if Atemati or like Benice's school. No? Pero for me, my school is really like my course is really so heavy. Like it's like so advanced. Like if you ask if I compare my lessons to what my beauty friends do, I'm like I finished their second year math in first year. Yeah.
Oh
Like
no.
like I finished up to math 23 in UP. I think that's I think that's when I already finished that in my uni life right now. So I would say it's definitely being Pisay is so demanding already. Here in my university, it's I think more demanding. So I could say that Pisay has really prepared me a lot, you know, for the
For the
mindset,
demands. They
for the
prepared you for
demand,
the demanding part.
for the right
Oh
work
no.
ethic. Yeah.
I guess the discipline wise, what to expect is that everything is hard ever since high school. Nothing much to expect that has changed in college. And pahig ba kayo nun? RB 2020 in the chat. Uh, Donna and the hands are there in the chat right now saying that uh, Carl actually wala lang daw yung math nyo.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I went top 4 in the class. Why not? That's
I
pretty
mean, that's in
good.
my course only. I mean,
Yeah.
I have other batchmates. But technically, Pisay made me strong.
Yes.
Pisay made me rock solid. So like, I'm still like this. You know, I'm in my batch or in my course. I'm like only one of the two or three people who cram. You know, all of them are so diligent and all, and me, I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? So yeah, I guess but seriously talking, you know, uh, I really appreciate the effort and the ways that Pisay trained us how to think and how to think and how to learn. It's really neat. I can
My
say
gosh.
that I can because it's really advanced here. You know, I mean, I take some science courses in Pisay, and the way my teachers taught me in Pisay really helped me to go along through here. Help me to think critically and be able to adapt in the setting. So it wasn't really that hard of an adjustment. I just needed to do a little more, and then I'm
Yeah,
already
shout out to the Pisay teachers of Carl,
oh, yes.
which wasn't me. So I feel, oh no.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I mean, at least your Pisay teachers were able to help you, which is very, very great. And I feel like tomorrow morning, you'll be expecting an email from Ma'am Habakon to apply as our poster boy. Dahil the sound clips you provided, oh my gosh, she's gonna use that. I feel like, do we get more ads for this? I hope.
No.
When you pagsikat ka na, remember us. How about you, Matty? Speaking from a perspective coming from Japan as well, since maybe we can compare as well. Not to compare, I meant, it's very different to studying environments. But for you, do you think that Pisay was able to help you give the edge?
Actually, I feel like super iba yung college experience ko from Carl. Like, Carl's is like definitely specialized in sciences. And actually, that's Japan's strength. And meanwhile, nasa liberal arts course ako. So, kind of a new thing for Japan. Like, Japan has like traditionally been more closed off in terms of international education and like liberal arts type of education. So, I would say the way that Pisay prepared me was for like in general living here and also yung people skills ko. I guess comparing sa experiences no friends ko dito, like mas madaling mag-adjust for me because I already have experience, I guess, working with and making friends with different types of people. Like coming from Pisay, like and dami-daming backgrounds of people, and like you're forced to kind of work with each one. It's kind of multiplied, like the diversity in backgrounds is kind of multiplied when you get to like an international program such as mine here. But it definitely helped me, like I can say that for sure. And academic wise, I would say it's not challenging. As at least as Carl describes it, para sobrang challenging. Pero for me, medyo gamay ko na kasi yung study habits ko or work ethic, which definitely came from Pisay. So thanks, Pisay. The adversity that one experiences in Pisay is not for naught.
Really?
That's what I would say. Yeah.
Social skills from Pisay? I would have never thought of that, in fairness. Not coming from social sciences, but coming from that, there's a lot of different cliques that come from Pisay, and you have these different perspective. You see people that can really adopt on their own, and you can see a lot of people that group themselves together, that had crammed their work, but still makes it upon the deadline, and it's very surprising, I guess, that Pisay actually has that culture. Huh. Would you say, Mark, that there really is a social connection that happens in, because we're teachers. That's you and me.
Mm.
We don't know what's happened in the trenches with the students. But would you say that does happen?
That
Oh, you
ano?
were beside student. You were an alumni back then. Would you say that it's like that?
Wait, are you asking me if Pisay helped me develop my social life? You're asking me that.
Shoot, the answer is no. We all know from the previous episodes. Oh, so I tried to figure out, maybe it's a batch thing.
Maybe
Not
Maybe,
Mr.
maybe.
Tarcy.
Not for me, not for me.
No,
Maybe
the reason why
I'm an exception.
no, the reason why I raised that, because Reni's over here was one of those that clicked, that mean girl clicks that you would see that hindi namamansin talaga sa daan when walks down the corridor. Like, she'd only ask you if may kailangan siya related sa ACADS. And especially the moment that she became star-studded famous in Sagala. Uh, hindi na siya namansin eh. No, just kidding. But
Untrue.
we bring it down to Release. If you were to, do you think that there was this, like in relation to what Patty said, she's coming from a different kind of schooling, which is more on liberal arts. How about for you? Well, do you think Pisay gave you the Pisay edge?
Okay. I know that this is both a yes and a no, for sure.
Mm.
So, same with Matty, I'm in a liberal arts school. So, when it comes to the sciences, medyo so far feeling ko gamay ko na siya. But then, because for just some context, like we are required to take this common curriculum. And for Common Core, we have to take like 2 courses of philosophy, literature, modern social thought. There's quantitative reasoning and scientific inquiry. Ganun. So yung quantitative reasoning and scientific inquiry, yeah, that was easy. I felt like it was okay. It was okay. Pero if coming from a science high school, tapos especially last 2 years ng SYP, parang science talaga, research, biochem, ganun. Coming into a liberal arts school, parang, oh my gosh, ano gagawin ko dito? You can't expect me to read the Odyssey or Frankenstein or Ramayana and then expect me to analyze the text just from just the words, as in close read the text and understand like what like Thomas Hobbes or whatever, or like, Confucius, ganyan, yung mga philosophy texts namin. It was very like difficult trying to understand it. Kasi I think the way of thinking when it comes to like the humanities, it's very different talaga than the sciences. Pero it doesn't mean naman na you can't apply like that kind of scientific thinking into like the humanities. Meron pa ring like advantages here and there, pero it's just harder to like really wrap your head around certain concepts. Kasi minsan, example, you can't analyze a literary piece the way you would analyze a scientific article. It just won't work that way. So yeah, there was like a lot of adjustment, and I feel like
Gave her a disadvantage. Oh my gosh, what?
Wait,
You're
sir,
putting a scientist in literary studies, I guess. So it's
we can build up from there.
okay.
Pero yeah, and I think in terms of class structure also, because for my classes here, class size is like very small, usually 15 to 18 people, and it's very discussion heavy, as in you would facilitate discussions, you would read like talk and kind of like debate more or less. And that kind of approach is very different compared to high school talaga. So that's something na, I have to learn to really be comfortable with, like talking in class and like not finishing a text, for example, and then being able to like really like like explain what I think I know. So yeah, there's that part for the no. There was no disadvantage. But for the yes part, I think the biggest part for me was really research. Kasi compared to my peers, I feel like meron na akong advantage when it comes to lab skills. For sure. Especially like doing my research nung SYP. Sobrang nakatulong talaga yun. It helped me with like getting lab attachments with profs here and like being comfortable like doing stuff in the lab independently and also even like getting internships. So meron ng ganong advantage agad from Pisay. So ayun, parang give and take naman siya. Like it wasn't an easy transition, especially since it's a liberal arts college. But at the same time, when it comes to the sciences, like for sure like Pisay gave me an advantage. So yeah, pros and cons.
Oh,
Just to
she
add
really
to that,
weighed in both sides. Go ahead, Matty.
like, okay, to be fair, sa assignment, just humanities kind of. I love English. Pero, I would say the research, as in super, super boost siya. Like, not just, it's not actually the advantage for me. Like, I don't see it limited to just sciences. Like, kahit sa humanities research, sobrang boost yung you're able to find sources, which is not a basic skill that everyone picks up actually in high school. But kind of PSI students are kind of really adept at like just skimming the whole thing and just getting the basic point. Like that
Yeah.
was so helpful for even humanities research. Like I would say that, and just being able to digest a lot of information in a short period of time, that is like a basic study skill that I don't think is limited. So I say that there's still a PSI advantage.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're done with the sponsored content because that question was sponsored by Mom Lil Habakon of the system. Just kidding. Let's go back to a quirky question. Something that a little bit to hype up the chat and also our viewers and also our guests here. Because I keep on seeing Hans here on the chat, so I guess we have to make it kind of related to what Hans would likely expect. Uh, what is it that you miss most? You've been living outside of the Philippines for, I guess, more than a year. Is there anything that you kind of miss the most here in the Philippines? Or did you leave something or someone behind? It's like when you open your window, you look out in the sky, you're looking at the moon, and you're wishing that significant other is also looking at the same moon as you do. Do you have something like that left here at home?
Disclaimer, again, you're free to pass. You can, you can veto his question. Pero yeah.
Really? Okay.
No, pero
Okay. If you
pero,
veto this question, I'm gonna think of something worse later on.
share whatever you're comfortable with. If you want, I can mute him. Ako yung owner na, I can server mute him. So if ever you can, But anyways, again, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, go ahead.
My friends are watching, so feeling ko kailangan ko sabihin na I miss my friends ata.
Oh! Okay. Darn it, I didn't knew that was an easy question pala.
Pero like aside from like, the usual, okay, I miss my friends, I miss my family, ganon. I think, for sure I miss the beaches back home. And like yung mga pwede kong puntahan. Kasi like, Singapore it's a nice place. It's a nice place. Pero it's such a city. It's such a city. So kunwari gusto ko mag-hike ganon. Wala akong pupuntahan, sir. As in like, wala akong pupuntahan. Merong hill.
The Merlion.
Mag-hike ako pataas.
I bet it's there.
Pero yun nga, like, wala kunwari beaches. Of course, like, mas maganda talaga beaches back home. So yung mga mga magagandang nature stuff, kung gusto ko lang lumayo sa city or, sa hustle and bustle, ganyan. medyo mahirap hanapin dito. Like, Sentosa can only give you so much. It's not as great as like, I don't know, going to Siargao or something. So, yeah. Mas maganda mga nature stuff sa Pinas, for sure.
Really? Okay. Oh, by the way, YouTube, to be clear, uh, Renee said beaches, okay? It might be her Singlish that's saying the B word, but it's not. By the way, it's really not. I meant she has the mean girl click back home. We know that she calls her friends like that. Donna's here in the chat, by the way. But she calls them friends, not the B word. So she mixes the beaches, the sandy ones. Okay. Thank you, Renee. Carl, also coming from 1 year away from Philippines, how is what do you miss most?
Siyempre, no? I mean, of course, I miss my friends and family na sobra. Because, of course, from time to time, sometimes, I'm just lonely, but I don't know why. But it really happens and it's normal. No? Yeah. Because you're really far away from family and friends who you get to interact with a lot of times. That's what really I miss most. Pero in another sense, no, uh, I don't know. Well, at least in where I live, no, food choices, most of them are really Japanese, no. So like, sawa na ako sa Japanese food. And,
What? Really?
swear,
How could you
I
say
swear,
that?
I swear, I
Japanese
swear,
food.
I swear.
Okay, so
You've been
what
here for a
Filipino
year.
food
Oh,
would you really, really miss?
Aha, yeah, syempre Filipino food, no? Of course. That's why I always try to make it. It's so hard to find equivalent substitute ingredients. Sinigang, of course, I tried making it once.
Really?
I was successful.
Sinigang?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
of
Yes.
all the
And
Filipino
one
food
more.
that you would miss, sinigang?
Yeah. Why?
Sinigang is great.
Huh.
Sinigang din sa akin.
Lalo
Man,
na yung sa saan nga ba yun?
why would you not miss sinigang? I mean,
Yeah.
Miss ko na rin
okay,
yung
it looks
sinigang
like I'm
stew.
alone here. So I guess Carl is valid in this scenario.
Ah, I
Oh.
swear.
But the sisig, the pata, the red horse, and so on and so forth. I'm thinking of
Red horse.
beer food stuff. Why am I thinking of beer food stuff?
red
Where
horse, yeah.
adobo? The adobo.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And also, one more thing, no? Ang mahal dito sa Japan, like sobra. So, miss ko na yung mga kinakain ko sa Jollibee, like 150 pesos, 2 pieces chicken. Nabusog na busog
Mm.
ka na. Pero dito hindi, like, mga kailangan you spend like 1,000 yen or more just to get a very decent
Fruits.
meal.
Fruits.
So,
to,
like,
to help
Later.
us to help us conceptualize or how much it would be 1,000 yen for Philippine pesos.
divide by 2. Divide by 2.
Divide by two.
Divide
So
by 2.
500 pesos for a meal? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
In my
Oh,
cafeteria, a decent meal would cost like 350 or something pesos. So yeah, mahal dito. And miss ko ng marami ako nabibili. Dito kasi
don't
hindi.
worry.
I need to like budget.
Everything still is cheap here. So when you come back, it's all waiting for you. Now, coming from somewhere also from Japan that could have expended twice as much, considering that she spent twice as much length in Japan as well. How about you? Is there anything that you miss over there, man? Miss from the Philippines, Matty?
Twice as much tears. Twice the years. I can say, grabe, sobrang, you'll get used to the way of living here, like, the way of interacting with people, the friends you'll be around. Pero sobrang, it does not, it is not the same. So you will really find yourself homesick sometimes. So it's super important that you find a community that you can be friendly with and like just feel that kind of warmth that home has. Because that's going to be something you're gonna miss like for a lot of times. Speaking from experience, pero um compared to Carl though, I feel like sobrang lucky ko kasi ang daming hindi naman ang dami, pero may source ako ng Filipino food dito in Okayama. Like, there's a Filipino restaurant like 20 minutes away by bike. So, and yung owner, like, tinatawag namin siyang tita. Super like home kasi Filipinos really come there, and it's like they have a lot of Filipino essentials like sinigang mixes, chocolate, chippy, as in sobrang mahal pero sobrang worth it. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can get like San Mig and Red Horse, even if you're gonna pay like 250 per bottle, go.
Oh my
You
gosh.
will really buy it. You will really buy
Unlimited
it.
first man. Oh my
Now,
god.
as you were describing all of those things, you can look at the face of Carl there, and he looks so sad at you right now that he feels. Maybe
Kasi
send
dito,
something over there to
dito
I
Carl.
siya
can
palagi
send you
nagiging.
ingredients for like legit. I can send you ingredients.
But really, it's the food also for you that you miss. Food and community for you, Matty.
Community for me, like the way of like your friend, the friends you'll make in Japan, they'll come from different places and like they're bringing different memories. I'm really lucky because I have Nicole with me. She's batch 2018, so like we can just meet up and chat about, oh, you miss the Sai, right? Blah blah blah. Just exchange like our common missing Pisay and moments. But other than that, like it's hard to relate with people, like especially I don't know, for me, I have a hard time relating to Japanese. Like even if they were born in a different area, they they're just not as warm. Like you will look for some kind of like linguistic or visual cues na they're friendly, but then you're not gonna find it. Like we
Really?
have a like
Oh,
as Filipinos, feel ko parang meron tayong tendency na we open up and we're generally like mas warm tayo to having conversation, but you're not gonna feel that from a lot of other cultures. Like Filipinos are so warm. You will miss that. But
oh,
yeah.
that's weird. Really,
That's
I've
true.
been
That's
watching
true.
all the anime and movies. Not okay, not only anime, but the movies that I watch. Not only for Japan, but also in other parts of the world. I would have thought that it was Philippines that was kind of a bit snobbish to the foreigners. But
No, no,
oh,
opposite.
okay. Now, okay, before Sir Tarcy asks the hard hitting questions, um, one follow up question in relation to what you raised up, because I was going to ask, how is it living separate from your family, but more on dorm life? But because I'm kind of sure some of you are used to a dorm life, uh, how is it that you cope being away from it all? Uh, Earlier, Matty did say that you surround yourself with community friends. Uh, is there anything that you would add to that, Matty, in relation to, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or sorry, a lot of our students and their parents would be afraid of letting go of their children, their child, their offspring, to go and explore, Renee says, explore their options in a foreign land. What is it that when you feel kind of distant, alone, or maybe sad, what do you do to cope? Not drinking. Well, okay, if you want to say drinking, kayo na bahala magsabi ng drinking. But what is it that you kind of do? So something that maybe our students will be able to practice, maybe when they think about studying abroad. Matty, anything to add to what you said earlier when it comes to community?
Yeah, for me, at just one thing that I thought of immediately, syempre video call, it's always there. And I actually call my family nightly. It's in nightly. I'm missing the call right now, but it's okay. Another thing is,
Mark, ano ba yan? Grabe.
okay, I invite my friends over and we cook for them. And I feel like that's such an important part nung life ko dito. As in, I learned how to cook. I learned how to cook like Filipino food, and I learned how to share it. And that just doing that just makes me feel so much like I'm making a home out of what I have here. It's also like kind of me emulating my mother. Because that's what she does, to make it more homey for people who come over. She cooks for them. And that's something that I suggest would do. It works for me. Like it no like especially Christmas season. Syempre hindi ako makabalik. So I make sure na magplano ng Noche Buena here. So that means syempre I assign, I cook food, you bring this, you bring that. But we generally have like our own kind of Noche Buena, and that makes me closer to home. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Wow, okay. I meant to bring the culture to where you live, even though you're far away from home, is something. I guess it's something really nice, and you can share with others. So you can share it with your friends there that are not familiar with the Filipino culture. That Christmas actually starts in September. That we have a cutout board of Jose Marichan with us every time we spend Christmas. That's our Santa Claus here in the Philippines. Anyways, let's going backward to Carl. How about you? Since you did really, yours was the most uh heart sinking one because aside from nahirapan ka sa groceries and all, and food is one of the biggest things that you miss. What are the things that you try to cope over there where you are situated right now?
Um, Ayan, I can relate to Mati a lot, no? To Ate Mati a lot. So parang, um, it's important na I mean, syempre the video call and the calls with family and friends are really important, no? Pero aside from that, dapat matuto tayong makisama talaga sa mga kaibigan natin dito. Yeah. That's the best thing we should really practice. We should be open-minded, maging accommodating tayo, maging Pilipino kaibigan, no? So just be like that, and I'm sure na you won't be homesick anymore. Yes, no. So kami rin, may friend group dito, occasionally, nagluluto kami ng cook for each other, nagpapa-deliver lang kami sa bahay, yung gano'n. Those usual eat out na. Kahit yun lang, okey na. Kasi pare-pareho kayong all of you miss your family together. Lahat you miss your family so much, you're so homesick so much, sila din, 'no. So it's nice to like you guys can relate to each other. It's nice to share that homesickness together too. Oh yeah, you guys support each other, Vale. You guys support each
Oh, okay,
other.
okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
and
support group.
yeah,
You
yeah.
all suffer the same tragedy. Since you can
Mhm.
all relate to it one another, why not, share other interests as well? It's an
Yes.
opening gesture, I guess, to relate
Yes.
with one another. And
Like,
when we talk about, oh, sorry, was that car? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
When we
Go.
talk about relating, since we said relating, Renice was able to relate with the Chinese community over there. Sorry, they were able to relate to Renice at a Chinese level. Would you say that you're assimilated na ba in their culture, or do you assimilate them into your culture?
I think
Who's
it goes both
dominant in this
ways.
scenario?
It goes both ways. Like, it's funny na for some of my sweet mates, sometimes I'm gonna start speaking in Taglish. Like, kunwari, I'm speaking in English and I'm gonna say lang or na. Ganyan. And then some of them will actually like understand it na. And they won't even bother asking me. And then sometimes when they're gonna speak in Singlish, like medyo gets ko na rin. So I think it goes both ways. And I mean, I've been living with these girls since like last sem. So it's almost like a year na rin. So ayun. And I think what Carl said about like being open talaga and like matutong makisama. Sobrang tama yun. Because like, I go back to my suite tapos sila makikita ko. So it's nice na, you develop like a really strong friendship with these people because you see them every day. And like, sometimes classmates mo pa sila or you go to the same org. So parang, sila lang talaga minsan makikita mo talaga lagi. So for you to have that good like friendship with them or like relationship with them, it really helps. And for me, I'm also like very close dun sa mga Filipinos sa batch ko. So over the summer, we would usually like, kunwari weekend, ganyan, Friday night, Saturday night, papa-deliver kami minsan ng Jollibee kahit sobrang overpriced niya. Medyo $13 ata two-piece chicken dito, ganun. So, 13 Sing dollars.
No!
So like,
Come back! Bawas mo, Dre. Pag-grab na lang natin para kay Reyes. Bawas mo rin.
sobrang mahal.
Really?
Iba nga dyan, may
Yeah,
Jollibee.
sobrang mahal niya.
Sana all.
Same. At least my Jollibee.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You're making the Japanese people feel so bad.
But yeah. So, yun. Sobrang close kami. Tapos pa-deliver lang ng Jollibee. Tapos laro kaming Pusoydos, ganyan. So, very, very warm community. And yun nga, like, lahat naman kami like homesick or, so it's just nice to know na at least you have support, and then they can all like relate. You can all relate to each other. So yeah, it's not as bad as it seems actually. Akala ko sobrang ma-homesick ako pag lumipad ako to Singapore, but honestly, I don't think hindi naman intense actually. And I think what helps also is to make sure na the country will always still be like super new. Like, wag mong ubusin lahat ng tourist spots in like one sem, ganun. Like, space it out para hindi ka mabore kung nasan ka. So, you're still a
Okay.
tourist, like, throughout the sems, the years, or whatever.
Okay. So support groups. And no, nagulat kasi ako dun sa comment. You have a fan here that says, from Yana, apakan mo ko Ate Renise, hihi, cutie. But in relation to that, my last quirky question. Siguro yes or no. Would you date someone who is non-Filipino? Wait, but tahimik lahat. Hello? Hello?
They're
Carl,
muting the.
do you wanna go first?
I told you palala yung mga questions ko.
Just tell me what you. Ano, if you want me to mute him, just tell me. Like,
No, I mean, just yes or no,
yeah, I
no
mean,
justification. And it's date, not marry naman or ano. Just date. Explore. Like Renee said, explore. So it's in relation to explore. I guess I'll start with Renee na lang.
Okay, I think, yeah, I guess so. I mean, sobrang onti lang din naman ang Filipinos dito. So like, sa school at least. So, yeah, I guess.
Now I'm going to read the excerpt of Doc Jose Rizal that says, "Ang hindi magmahal sa kanyang sariling wika ay..." No, just kidding. No.
Hold
That's
on.
in relation to language, not dating. Dating options. I meant Jose Rizal. He himself was able to date a lot of people and even foreigners. So he can't judge our international students from dating others. So bad, Jose Rizal. Bad. Not the best context for this. Carl, how about you? Yes or no? It doesn't have to justify.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Matty.
Why not?
Hi, I am in a long distance relationship.
No, darn it. I thought she said hi, as in yes in
No.
Japanese. You say yes, I will date someone in Japanese. No. Okay, that's good. I mean, and Filipino naman yung long distance
Yeah.
relationship.
Tumatawag
Okay.
si Renis.
Shout
Hindi
out.
ako nakamute.
Nasa chat.
Okay. Mark, back to you. Those were my quirky questions.
yeah.
I'll save the other ones for.
No, we should really. Parang before the stream starts, we should like pull together a question so that we can split the quirky and the serious
I
questions.
do. No, kasi naman, hindi bagay galing sa'yo yung mga quirky questions eh.
Oh yeah, that's true. I wouldn't ask them anyway. Okay, sige. Well, so again, we're hosting this talk, the RC talk for those who are considering studying abroad, and of course, we're talking about reasons for going abroad, challenges, some things that you have to do to better survive, but of course, there are a lot of things to consider, and I remember when Matty was applying for for abroad, he had a long Excel of a long Google spreadsheet of different things and pros and cons. And I guess what are some serious factors that allowed you to kind of, okay, this university is top choice? Was it the course? Was it the program itself? Were there constraints? What were the main constraints? What were your main considerations? Kasi the first question was what made you so talked about, yeah, definitely yung the motivations for studying abroad, pero going more to, I suppose, the nitty-gritty details of that are real factors in deciding a university. So what are some of those things that allowed you to choose your current university or allowed you to disregard completely other universities? Carl, ikaw?
Wait. No?
Yeah, we can hear
Sorry.
you.
It was a bit This is a bit choppy for me.
Okay. So basically, were there aside from your initial motivations to study abroad or to study in a particular university, were there other concrete factors that allowed you to choose a university or disregard other universities? Things like program itself, the location, fees, scholarships.
Okay. So I see. I see. Of course. Like the number one factor for me was scholarship. If there was none, no. Goodbye, London. That's it. Then once you get that, it's the program. Then the most important one for me was I really didn't like. I mean the program, of course, I should like it. The location was not that important for me. Just come on, it's a different country for sure. It's really nice here. But like the most important thing for me was, do I see myself? I really consider this college as the best fit for me? Is if I see myself there, as in I imagine myself na nag-aaral ako dun. I imagine myself talking with my friends. I imagine myself talking with my professor. I imagine myself sitting in the classroom. I imagine myself doing research there. I imagine myself what I'm doing after a full day of class. So, it's like, oh, I'm going with my friends here. Oh, I'm going to study. I'm going to play with my friends here. Right? We're going somewhere in the vacation. If you're able to answer those questions, like you really see yourself fully, like you really see yourself so fully immersed there. Um, that's how that's like how I can say that I really chose the right college for me. You know, it's really hard to say that before. It's really hard to say that before you actually go to the college. But the fact that you're able to answer these questions for yourself, for me, that was the really most important factor for me. You know, I really didn't think that complicated for me. As long as
Mm,
I really see myself there, kasi nakikita ko magiging masaya ako doon. Okay na. Yun yung
mm,
importante na. As long as importante. As long as magiging masaya ako doon. Yun na. That's it.
My heart's melting, really. My heart really is melting that you can already visualize yourself to be happy in the future. And I'm glad.
pal-
It was a very good, it's a good visualization, I guess. Um, and I guess it's something that our students can pick up. Sorry, I unmuted myself, but wala lang. Natutunan ko kasi puso ko nung sinabi niyo yun eh.
yeah. Maybe we should ask Carl to go last. Pero sige. I'm sure the others are also just as heartwarming. Mati, yeah, ano go next?
What was the question ulit? Like why
Uh,
we decided to come?
Parang I guess more concrete deciding factors that allowed you to choose the university over other universities, or which led you to disregard certain universities that you might have chosen.
Ako yung application deadline eh. I, ano sa acceptance deadline. Sorry.
No, that's a real thing. For those who are
It's
watching,
real,
pay
it's
attention to
real.
application deadlines.
Um, what Carl said no una, scholarship. Yun yung pinaka factor ko. Kasi be realistic about what opportunities you can get. You don't want one to slip by just because you were too set on this other thing and hindi pala siya feasible. Like, you know. So know what know your parang practical consideration. So it's like your budget, what you can live with. Like okay ka ba sa big campus life, or do you want small sizes? Do you want a more personal interaction with your teachers and your classmates? Definitely consider that. Another thing I would say is, if in a okay, I did not visualize as far as what Carl said. Like, will I find myself happy? Like, malay ko ba? Just go for it. Pero more of does is it set up for you to grow? Like ako, I looked at my university's program and I was like, wow, they have a lot of choices where you can like just it allows you to explore, and it doesn't confine you to a discipline. Like I love that. I found myself na very attracted to that option. So I went for it. And also the scholarship. So I would say it's a balance of like being able to like visualize, this is an ideal thing you want, and also practically, okay, what can I really like? Where can I really go? Because for me, it wasn't the US, but I also didn't find that I would be happy in the US. I don't think. Yeah, balance.
Okay. And I guess Renice, do you want to want to share yours?
Yeah. I think I can like talk about specific little things.
Mm.
So, yeah, no, for sure, like given talaga yung finances, like wala akong binabayaran sa Pisay. So I didn't want to pay a lot of money for college. Parang, I'm gonna feel bad asking my parents for that much money. So, yeah, scholarship talaga. And another thing is, I didn't really consider this actually. Pero now that I'm here, I realize how important mentorship is, especially in college. Like, because college is a time na you're doing so many things. It's such a crucial period in your life na parang you have so many important decisions talaga that will really impact the rest of your life. So I think mentorship is super important. So here I'm very happy na I have like mentors or like advisors for residential college like living, like RCAs. So they help out with, how will I thrive in a residential like living space like this. And then also for like academic advisors, so what kinds of classes do I really have to take now will give me the kind of fulfillment that I want academically, and also will prepare me for the career that I want. So yun, to help you find out like what's the right course for you, what's the right major for you. And of course, there's also like your career advisors. And they are super important when it comes to looking for internships or figuring out, if you want to go to grad school, paano ko mag-a-apply sa grad school, ganyan, be it for PhD or med school or whatever. So these like mentorship programs, I feel like super important siya in college because they will really like help you shape what your future will be like. And I think that's something like na it's very important to consider. That's why I think it's also nice na Yale News is quite small, so very personalized talaga yung mentorship mo. And even with your professors, it's like the ratio is very good from student to faculty. So, napo-personalize mo yung learning experience mo, and at the same time yung living experience mo here. So, yeah, and medyo minor, like I considered what kind of room I will have. Like, will it be like I will have a roommate? Will it be like a single room? So that's something I considered because I was like, I want my own space, I want my own room. Pero ayoko naman like na tumira talaga mag-isa. So we have separate rooms, but then we share like the same living area. So it's nice. You have your space, but you also interact with other people. And also, and like what kinds of classes, like of course yung majors na offer nila. That's something that I really considered when just researching for colleges. Because like if they don't offer like life sciences or molecular bio, anong gagawin ko dun? So yeah, because parang yun talaga yung major choice ko for like a course. So of course I wanted that. And also the diversity of the community. Like going back to what we talked about with how we deal with homesickness. So it was very important for all of us na, maganda yung community, and like there are people now we can relate to. So when the college is diverse, it's really nice. It's really easy for you to find like a good group of friends. And now you're gonna be able to relate to a lot of people, and you won't feel singled out since the community is very diverse.
So you were thinking of dating someone not Filipino before you actually went to Singapore?
Yeah, yes, sir. I didn't consider that at all. I was just focused on
You said diversity. No. I meant based from the really prepared answer, we can see that she actually has notes on the right side of her.
yeah, kasi wala
She's just reading off of something. But yeah, actually, there's a lot of factors to consider. And something, okay, can I add my quirky question now? I want to insert my quirky question. Because mine is common amongst all of them. So, quirky question time. Q time. Oh my gosh, exactly, Q. Anyways, you guys said that it was scholarship that was something that was able to help you consider this. Now, considering that money, I mean scholarship is related to money. Considering that your education is already put aside, my question to you, which I'm sure that a lot of students are kind of curious about, what is your spending allowance for a week? How much? Okay, no. Now, I feel like you would be judged with, okay, Rini, sorry. I meant, siya lang yung dumating na naka-blazer, oh. It's like, This is my nightgown,
I
blazer.
came from class.
uh, my question is like, how much do you need to survive? Yun na lang. To survive for a week. Something that will make you okay. And okay, no. Let's make it two tier. One is barely survive, like ramen eating. Oh, although it's ramen normal than sa Japan eh. More on cup noodle style pancit canton meal for the night kind of thing, which is bare minimum. And the second one is to be happy, like something to go leisurely about, and so on and so forth. So two tier allowance. What would you say? What would you say is your expenses? Now everyone's opening their wallets and everything else, but I guess everyone's pay Maya there or something. Uh, Matty, with the most experience for 2 years now in Japan, what would you say your expenses are for a week?
Hala, okay. Meron akong budget. Pero sa totoo lang, I go over budget quite a bit. The first year, confident to say 2,000 pesos. Honestly, if you learn the budget tips, discount groceries, agricultural areas, centers that you can go to for fresh produce but very cheap, you can survive 2,000 pesos. That's around 4,000 yen. But, and like, that's maybe one or two groceries. No, actually, only one grocery. Ay, di ka na lumalabas to eat, okay?
Like cook at home?
Period.
Like you buy your own
Mm.
ingredients and just
Cook
cook?
at home. Exactly. For leisure, okay, for context rin, I feel like interesting yung difference between me and Carl's answer. Probably because yung area ko mas rural siya. Sa city, pero mas rural siya. Like, medyo relatively unknown and less tourist spots. So I would say it's a lot more affordable. Pero for leisure, 4,500 pesos.
Why is it more? Where does it go?
The eating out is such a dream. Like what Carl said kanina, yung 1,000 pesos mo, basic lang yun. Actually, minsan side dish lang yun. Kaya, like, if you find na, kung on break ka and like, madalas kang lumabas, you'll see na your budget really has to, like, you have to accommodate that extra, cost for eating out. And actually, that's most of it. Like, it goes there. You will just be surprised na doon napupunta yung money. Pero yeah.
Huh. Okay. Oh well.
If you really need to cut, you can. You can.
I'm afraid. Like, do we see Matty scrounging around in farms in the rural areas and picking up plants, random plants? No,
You know,
naman, right?
no naman.
Let us know if you nahirapan ka. Sir Tarcy will send
Ako pa
thoughts
yung
and prayers.
ng pera eh. So sad. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, Carl, you were raised Matthew also raised your situation that 1,000 was something that bare minimum. But for you, what would you say is really bare minimum for you on where you're in the locality you are? And what's a amount that you feel that you can splurge or enjoy?
What do I spend on? Food, eat out with friends, date. Oh,
Oh, is the dating experience very expensive there as opposed to anyway, well, Carl,
okay,
you'll answer that
after
later, but the money first, how much is it?
Okay. Oh my God. Anyway, like, okay, pag bakasyon yun talaga sobrang gastos. I mean, vacation. You would love to do everything with your friends and eat out, gano'n. Maraming beses kayong kakain sa labas. Ah, yeah. Oh my God. So, hindi naman. Okay, yeah. Anyway, dulas ako, no? Anyway, then,
I win, Carl.
classes,
Kaya
if like classes and all, I'd say 5,000 yen a week. 5,000 yen a week is already fine for me. So it's around matis, no? Pero hindi naman kasi ako complicated magluto, no? Simple-simple lang ako. Yung, ano lang, yung mga baguhan ng yung mga baguhan ng sa nagluluto ah, yung niluluto ko ng mga adobo,
Ah,
ganun. Simple stir-fried vegetables, meal prepping. Meal prepping, I don't know if you know that term. So like you prepare your meals for the week. Yeah, I do that too. Meron ako diyan, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Meron ako nun, ka-portion-portion. Malakas akong kumain, eh. So, pino-portion ko talaga. Kasi if not, I'll just eat everything. Pero yun, I can do it 5,000 to 6,000 yen. 5,000 to 6,000 yen a week. Yeah, considering na malakas na akong kumain and all. Yeah. Mm. If there's eat out, 7,000 yen. Yeah, that's it.
okay.
5,000.
Now on weeks with date nights, how much would you spend?
Ah!
Di ba kayo naghahati? I mean, does the concept of it's still the men that pays? Ganun ba yun?
I mean, siyempre ganun na. Pero like,
Uh,
I mean,
okay.
ngayon why will I answer this? Pero yeah, no, of course naman, no. I'm not. It's not like I don't like it. I mean, I can say na mas mahal talaga mag-date dito kaysa sa Philippines. I mean, a restaurant to eat, yun pa lang. Yung mga park dito or like theater or like uh hindi amusement park. Basta mga places to visit may bayad din. Transport din, no? So like depends on where I eat, no? Depends on where we eat. Depends on where we eat. Pero I'd say I'd add up to 1,000 yen or 2,000 yen.
Oh,
I
okay. Safe. Still safe. Around Matty's
It's still
spending.
Yeah, the important thing is try different date ideas din. Wag yung parating kain lang sa labas and spend. You know, there are ways to get creative naman. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that's a hint for those in chat. You don't have you have to be creative. Doesn't have to be regardless of where you are. You can be creative. So don't ask money from your parents. Just be creative with what you have. Wise words from Carl. Now for Renise, that is looking around the area. How about you? How is your spending?
Oh my gosh, it is terrible. Sir, weekly or okay, monthly na lang.
Weekly,
Okay.
weekly. No, not monthly.
Okay, weekly. If para to survive lang, since I don't pay rent and I don't pay for food kasi part na ng tuition fees namin yung rent and food, as in 3 meals each day. So technically, dapat I can survive with 0. Technically. But
But
for me to be happy and to take care of my well-being, siguro mga 130 SGD a week.
okay, you're gonna have to help us convert that.
35 times 35 ata. So,
I'm looking for
mga,
a calculator.
mga ganun. Per week. Kasi usually 500 a month. 400 to 500 a month. I'd say 400 is a good month na if I hit 400 lang. Pero if magpa 500,
4,500
oh,
pesos?
yeah.
Where do you go?
Sir,
What happiness are you
Wait,
looking
how
for
much?
in
How much? How
Singapore?
much?
okay,
4,500 pesos.
Oh my God!
minsan retail therapy yun.
How?
Pag masaya,
Okay.
ganun. Kaya lalabas kami. Kasi, kunwari, ano lang, transpo pa lang, magkano na, like, it can be like $40,
You
$50
think?
a month.
Isn't the train system the one that's
Train and bus.
tied?
Train and
Oh,
So,
okay.
yun. Food is expensive, especially if you go out to like nice places. It can be like $15 is a good meal na. If I go under 10, mura na yun. Under $10 na meal outside. So, kung maganda restaurant, 15, 20. Tapos, yun. Minsan, shopping, pag stress, ganyan. So,
Yes, really?
dagdag yun. Honestly, mahal din alcohol minsan. Hindi minsan, mahal alcohol in general.
Oh,
So,
wow!
so ayun. Pero it's fine because like, campus jobs exist naman and they pay well. So it can help me sustain myself without touching the allowance from my parents.
Which
So
did
ayun.
you actually take up a campus job?
Yeah, sir, I have two.
Oh wow.
Not bad.
You're drinking a lot then. If what say you're drinking from
Hindi pa this time. Wala pa. Masyadong busy. Wala pa.
Nico
Mga
says in the
like
chat.
yung retail therapy, ganun. Mga online shopping. May Shopee pa rin naman kasi. Lazada, Shopee. Meron pa rin naman dito. Pero mas mahal shipping fee, ganyan. Mas mahal mga bagay-bagay. So, yeah. It's around that.
Nico in the chat says, ganyan talaga pag malapit sa Shake Shack. So,
Mahal Shake Shack pero masarap naman. Masarap
oh,
kasi.
she even she
Oh,
even
good.
justified herself. So I guess she's guilty.
The
Okay.
shake is very good.
Down to the last 20 minutes, Mark. Your surprise guest hasn't arrived yet, I think. But
Na, actually, she messaged me a few minutes ago na hindi siya makakaabot.
oh, it's okay. I think our guests were actually able to satisfy the answers of most of what chat provided and what the host also raised. Um, okay. A serious question would be, what would you give tips? Okay, we're winding down towards the more important parts, but more on what would be the tips that you would give to our students right now? Be it from Pisay or maybe anyone else that's watching from this that would like to study abroad. What are the like top? Do we allow 3 tips or 1 tip na lang, Mark?
Yeah, just enough. What are their top tips? Whether it's 1 or 3. Honestly.
Yeah, top tips. Okay, regardless of the number, what are the top tips that you can give based from your experience? You can give to our students that can that could help them apply. Mark, you choose.
Alright, let's go with Matthew first.
Yay, I go first. So like I don't need to worry about them repeating. I would say the first tip talaga, know yourself. College application season is a very busy one, but you'll find that a lot of the decisions you have to make will be clear once you figure out, okay, it doesn't have to be final, but you have to figure out what you can live with, the basic standards of living that you require, what you're interested in, kahit a field. It sucks that you have to narrow it down, but you have to. A field, what kind of environment do you think you can grow in? Is it one that is academic and rigorous like Pisay, or do you want a different experience from Pisay? Do you want a liberal arts experience? These are the things you should know about yourself muna, and then after knowing yourself, research, makuha mo na yan. Yeah. Research about anong opportunities out there. Follow pages, ask your friends, ask alumni, ask us. Yeah. Yun. I'll let them do the rest.
Bernice, ikaw?
Wait, is this for college applications or studying abroad in general? Or like
Application.
application?
Sorry, applications. Yeah.
Okay. Applications. I think, well, okay, I can't repeat what Matty said, but I'm just gonna say that that's very important to really know yourself. And I think one big tip is to really plan your schedule well, like the deadlines or when you want a certain, as in, plan internal deadlines for yourself. Because for example, when making essays, sometimes you're gonna make a draft in one night, but it's not gonna be the final. You're gonna revise it so many times pa. So, start early talaga. Like, kahit research lang the schools, it's very important for you to start early so that you have an idea, like you have a sense of how many schools you want to apply to. So, how many essays am I supposed to produce? Ganyan. So yeah, scheduling is very, very important. Kasi obviously with college app season, you also have school. You still have high school naman. So meron ka pa rin mga school break na kailangan gawin. So it's really balancing your time. So it's gonna be good for you to really have a strict schedule to follow. So that, may direction kang pinupuntahan kung anong nangyayari sa college apps mo. And I think with scheduling also, sometimes you need to take tests. Like for example, if you're gonna apply to the US, may SATs, ACTs. Like start early, apply for those exams early para tapos na agad. So you don't have to think about it. Kasi it can build up, especially throughout like first quarter, second quarter, ganyan, ang daming ganap. So there's a tendency na baka ma-stress ka. So to prevent that, just start early, get as many things done as possible during like the summer break, ganon. And yeah, and I think just know why you want to apply talaga. Like why are you even doing all this hard work for? Because I think that's something that reason is something that you're gonna go back to even after application season. Like when you're in your dream college already abroad, you're still gonna go back to that reason of why did I even want to go here in the first place, and that's gonna help a lot with, just just like your mindset and everything. So yes.
How early did you start, Denise, applying?
I think for the exams, yun talaga inuna ko. So, I finished my exams summer, as in SATs and ACTs, summer before grade 12. Tapos, before grade 12 started, I think I already have like a good list of schools that I want to apply to. So,
Mm.
yun. And kasi I was also balancing, UPCAT, plus Ateneo entrance test. So, meron pa mga ganong exam. So, marami talaga. Kaya, I wanted to finish SATs early.
How about you, Matty? How early did you start?
So looking at colleges,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Application and looking up.
I attended college fair kasi in grade 10. So parang it was already on my mind. Pero yung mismong prep, also same as Renee, like summer, I did my SATs. Although I did them again. So I would say like siguro end of grade 11, I was already quite busy. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing for our students to schedule out in their what they have right now. Now we go to pinakamalupit Carl, who's top four, who seems to have his whole life already there. Top four, love life, everything. Uh, uh, what are the top tips for application that you could share with us?
Ah, okay. Whenever people ask me, yeah, what are your tips when you apply? Okay, so here's what I always tell people, no? First of all, nasabi na to ni Renice. Yeah, nasabi na to ni Renice, like, nauna, gusto mo ba talaga mag-aaral sa abroad? Is it in your heart? Is it in your heart? Um, like, are you really set on it? Gusto mo ba talaga? Because if wala yun sa isip at puso mo, and actually hindi isip, wala yun sa puso mo, um, you won't, hindi ka matatapos sa application process mo. You won't be able to like, uh, you'd give up somewhere in the middle. Eh. No? It's really hard, no? It's not easy. It's not easy. It's really hard, no? Pinaghihirapan talaga siya. And if it's in your heart talaga, you'd really do well pag hirapan mo yun. And you definitely succeed, no? You definitely succeed. And and next is like the places where you're going to, the programs you are going to choose, colleges you are going to choose. Like dapat masaya ka sa pupuntahan mo. 'Di ba I was saying kanina, dapat masaya ka sa gagawin mo. Dapat masaya ka sa pupuntahan mo kasi college is like this 4 year thing. Not 4 year thing. It's 4 years of your life. It's one of the most important 4 years of your life where like you'll make very great decisions and like you'd really mature and develop a lot. You'd grow here. It's really nice that you really enjoy what you're gonna do. That you see yourself fitting in the college where you wanna go. You see yourself grow. You see yourself being happy. You see yourself enjoying talaga. No? And ano pa ba? Though this isn't really an application tip, pero like where you study, it doesn't for me, no, it doesn't really matters. It doesn't really matter that much. What matters is what you do after. right? What matters is what you do after. Kasi okay, nag-aral ka sa Japan, nag-aral ka sa US, nag-aral ka sa Europe. Eh, what if we just put your talent or skills to waste? If you, sayang naman. Sayang naman. Ba't ka pa nag-aral abroad? Ba't ka pa nag-aral sa college na yan? Also, like, everywhere you study, doesn't matter. What matters is, what's your plan for life? What are you gonna do after college? What will happen after you study? And that's something that you should think about too. But yeah, that's
I really feel like the PSI system is gonna take this video and then use it to promote for the next one. I'm afraid now. But thank you. I bet that was very, very, really moving. I
Mm.
didn't even expect that. Um. Okay. You can see how much they've actually matured out there, in the world. Not only by being alone, but actually from learning a lot of experiences where they are right now. And in relation to being mature, Daniel from chat said, "Sino daw yung prof na nasa upper right?" And then I was looking at the stream and I said, "Oh my gosh, all four of us looks like we're kind of doing a thesis defense, and then yun yung advisor natin na nag-grade sa atin eh." Like,
Grabe.
okay. Mark, do you have a question? Because I think I have a closing question
No,
for
no,
them.
I'm pretty much good. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. If I were to ask you to plug your school where you are right now to experience what you're experiencing for our students here that are on the fence of going abroad. um I meant you were able to share everything else I know, but if you were to plug it, what would they expect and what would they actually get to experience, what you haven't said so far?
Okay, unahin natin
um
si Renise yung so that she can say her piece before.
Okay, the thing is, right, for Yale NUS, we are being merged to this other college under NUS. So I can't really plug Yale NUS as a college anymore. It's like I have to plug NUS as a whole university. And I feel like I do not know how I'm gonna do that because I don't really experience what their curriculum is like. Basta iba yung Yale NUS experience and NUS experience. But then I guess if you want to experience like Singapore education in general, then yeah, I mean NUS is a great school. It's a great school. It's a great university. Sobrang daming facilities. Sobrang ganda ng classes and everything. But
with
like,
the hand gesture and all.
pero yun, YNC won't accept admissions for the next cycle. They're gonna have
oh my
Oh.
god.
NUS, and
Oh.
they're gonna have to apply to NUS and not Yale NUS specifically. So yeah, good luck.
If you want to spend 4,500 pesos a week like what Redis does, shopping and
Sir, it's a me
drinking.
problem. It's a
Okay, thank you very much, Redis. Carl, go ahead. If you can plug in your life right now, how would you plug it to the students? What happened? Ang ganda mo nung sinasabi mo kanina. Nahubos ako. Go
No,
ahead.
I think he's getting distracted by chat.
Okay, okay, okay.
Ah, may monopit ba diyang ramen? Sorry, nabuksan ko lang. Yan. Oo naman, marami, no? Labas ka lang dyan. Student life, no? Lakad ka lang dyan. Yung mga, basta yung nakikita mong shops na puro kanji yung menu. As in yung numbers, hindi siya Roman numerals. As in kanji yung numbers, yung price. Naku, pag yun yung kinainan mo, masarap yun sigurado. Masarap yun sigurado. Okay, that's one thing I will promote. I mean anywhere in Japan. Pero seriously speaking, what's the question again? Promote my student life dito.
More of the university itself. Parang,
The university itself. I would definitely say na I'm gonna say na it's really hard academically here. I think anywhere, like ayan, tanongin niyo si Simon or si Yana, no? Alam din nila to. For sure, ayan, they're in the chat, no? For sure, mas mahirap talaga dito. Pero anyway, aside from that, learning a new language, learning a new language, trying to interact with the Japanese community then, joining bokatsus and circles and activities. I would say it's really different from how you would do it sa Pilipinas. Or culture is so different here rather than the Philippines, and I would say na rin anywhere. It's just unique, no? It's just Japanese culture. It's really nice. It's really enriching. So if you want to experience that, experience with the language, uh, uh, experience sa your language, and dito sa Japan, importante talaga maging independent and practical, no? Yeah. Mm. So yes, okay, dito sa Nagoya University, at least last na to, if you like to, how to say, if you like cars, automotives, no, this is the only university in Japan. And why I would say it's really special, because Toyota is here in Japan. Famous car companies are here in Japan. So like in your third year or second year, actually, I could even do it this summer, but it's closed due to COVID. You need to have internships with famous car companies. So if you're a fan of that, of Japanese automotive technology, or just technology in general, it's really nice to come here to Nagoya University, no? Kasi yun talaga yung specialty nila. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Sorry, napahaba.
Thank you very much, Car. Okay, for the most experience that would most likely be able to share her experience from school abroad. Go ahead, Matty.
I'd say come to Okayama University's Discovery Program if you want to get away from this. um,
Oh no,
it's
there's gonna be a lot of students that's gonna apply.
um, it's very different. I would say our program is really like Linu's. It's very free. That the freedom of learning in a liberal art program, which I don't think is unique naman to Okayama University. But I'll add on that later. The freedom of learning is something you will really learn to cherish. Um, once you're here, like if you think about matters in the world, like example climate crisis or like um in ano ba, intersectional justice, you'll see that these are not things that just single disciplines like staying within the sciences can solve. So if you want to get into that kind of niche na parang you're in conversation with a lot of different disciplines, with a lot of different backgrounds, come to Discovery Program. Um, but also not limited to Discovery Program, but like that's the specialty of a liberal arts education, I would say. Um, added points for Okayama University, affordable. You can say you're living in Japan without the price tag of living in Japan, I would say. And sobrang gusto ko yung vibe dito. Medyo hindi talaga the same as like Tokyo or Osaka. It's not at all busy. Sometimes it's super quiet. But if you have like if you want to kind of like keep in touch with nature or something, para siyang LB. Like in terms of the area here, it's rural but also not. It's very chill. And if you like the idea of biking to school and biking wherever, I would say yeah, come to Okayama University. Yeah, for PR. That's my PR of the day.
Can we tag your schools to this video, or
Oh,
do you feel like?
Oh, wait, can I add something?
Oh,
Let's
go
get
ahead,
going.
Carl. Go ahead.
Nagoya might be the most boring city in Japan, they say. Yeah, it's true. Like if you look at the statistics, Nagoya is number one. But I don't really think so, because of course the community here is really nice too. I mean,
Uh,
you might be tired of places to go. Ganun. Kasi wala, like Kyoto or like Osaka, ang daming stuff talaga. No? Dito kasi hindi masyado. Pero ang kinaganda, like, it's still fun, no? As long as you're with your friends and you're with your community. And like, nasa gitna siya ng Japan. So like, madaling lumabas. Sa gitna siya ng Japan. Madaling lumabas. Ayan. Like
Gitna
example,
rin
of course,
kami.
just talaga.
Sa Prito din eh. Palakasan ng prefecture na to eh.
So like ano,
All right. So,
yeah.
uh,
No, go.
Mark, any other last questions that you'd like to ask them
I
before
think
we
it's
give
about
the certificate of recognition?
we don't have that. Or, well, at least we give it off stream.
Wala pa ba
Whatever.
sa program? So
yeah, I think
I'm
we
trying
should
to
wrap
look on
up.
Twitter. Yeah, we're wrapping up. But I opened up the chat for questions to add to ask our guests. But mostly sinasagot naman ni Carl eh, more on na-meet mo na ba si Godzilla? Carl just said di pa daw. Maybe Matty, have you met Godzilla yet? What is famous in Singapore? Who is famous in Singapore? Is there anyone famous in Singapore? I'm
Hindi ko
trying to
alam.
think.
Merlion lang talaga. Hanggang Merlion tsaka Marina Bay Sands lang tayo dito.
Anyway, thank you very much. It's already 10 o'clock here in the Philippines. Especially for those in different time zones. It's very, very much late into the night, I'm guessing. Right?
1
Like
hour
it's 11?
later. 7
Plus
o'clock.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, we hope that through this stream was able to help our current students you know try to figure out what they want for their future, not necessarily for the graduating batch but also for the younger batches that might be thinking about this. Again, this is a are we really doing this as a public service? Yeah, it's okay. We're doing this as a public service, and that's what our no more on giving back to the community. Because I was able to give so much for me as a teacher and Sir Tarcy as well as our alumni. So if this is our way of trying to give back, we're happy to provide the service. Next stream, we're going to provide you with a different service, but more particularly to the graduating batch on how to fix your application in the time of COVID. So this is something that we hope that we can get a lot of our grade 12 students. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated with the school, but this is just something that we hope that can guide you. We thank our guests here so much. Wala talaga yung certificate?
Yeah, I mean, I'll draw one up later tonight. Paint ko lang
Chinese
tapos
drama.
Are we not that legit yet? Where's our play button, by the way? Ano ba yung views natin?
We're at 200 subscribers. Parang
So, nagpaparinig na si Sir Tarcy. Kung pwede, like and subscribe this video, please. It helps not only you, but it helps the community as well.
That's it.
Anyway, so, last messages, shout outs to your friends out there.
Mga Instagram nyo,
from our
yung mga ano nyo.
Yeah, plug your Instagrams. Do you have life in Japan, life in Singapore, shopping with Renice or something like that? Do you want to shout out to your friends out there in chat? Wala. Yeah.
I think
Shout out to your girlfriend.
Hindi friends ko, hindi Instagram ko. So, Carl and I are also part of this org called COS. And also camp. You're part of camp din, di ba? Basically, may mga orgs naman na really cater to help out with college apps. As in, you're gonna get like a mentor. So like one of us, ganun, and then we're gonna help you out fix your essays, ganyan. So if you all need help, you all can check out kung anong mga ganap sa orgs na yun. Yes.
Matty, any pasabay? Like,
Okay.
those that want to buy Totoro as well, you could send it here to the Philippines.
I'm considering that though. Okay, hit me up at Itatotoro Instagram. But okay, also another kind of org, sort of a network. This group that I am in, Filipino Undergraduates Abroad, we have a podcast on Spotify about life abroad. So you can hear from other people in other countries, and I will just link it.
Yeah, we'll add it to the description as well. The organizations that you provide. So it's 10 o'clock, 10:03. It's a school night. I have to get up early. Sir Tarcy also. We're not that young anymore. Kayo, bahala na kayo what you want to do. Also with chat, you can stay up in chat as well. But thank you everyone. Thank you to chat. Thank you to our guests so much. Some of them have not been my students, but I'm pretty sure what they've shared are very, very helpful. So makes me wonder where my students are. They're just in chat. They're just lurking in chat. Okay,
I was
so
with
Mark, last
you
words. Yeah, release. I meant aside from release.
I mean, same thing. I'm not as verbose as Ricky, pero thank you very much for agreeing to show up. Really appreciate it, and I'm sure the people who are watching or who will watch this also appreciate it very much. So thank you for taking some time to show up and share your ideas with us. Okay, so that's it for this week, and we'll see you all next week for hopefully we will have another episode, but for hopefully another fruitful discussion, another bunch of students. So we'll see you all next week. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.